Transurfer, and welcome to TransurfingTV. I am Renee Garcia, and this is my video on transurfing another person. This can be done. I mean, the transurfing modality sort of shies away from this kind of idea because we really, the golden rule of reality transurfing is to allow yourself to be you and allow others to be themselves. So you don't really want to focus too much attention on trying to bend the reality of another person, but this can absolutely be done. I kind of view it as, if you look at transurfing as magic and you look at it in the way that it's supposed to be used. It's white magic, right? When you use it in a way that it's not supposed to be used, it does still have an effect. It can work, but in my opinion, it kind of becomes black magic. It's doing something to bend the reality of somebody else, which could ultimately go against their will, right? So we don't want to really we don't want to spend our energy going against anybody's will. But if you absolutely need to transurf someone, or maybe you need to transurf someone in a positive direction, I'm going to give you a couple little tips that I've come up with that will help you transurf another person. So let's say that you're in a relationship. This is a challenge that I encounter frequently, other people emailing me about this. People find reality transurfing and they go nuts, right? They're like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. And they start on the path of utilizing these concepts and really changing their reality. And then I get an email or a text or a DM that says, hey, I'm really seeing amazing results in my reality, but my romantic partner is wondering what the hell's going on, or they don't like it and they're not doing it. Now all of a sudden there's a problem in the relationship. And this is actually what happened to me. When I first found reality transurfing, I was in a relationship with a guy that was a very, very negative thinker. Oh my God, it was like the first thing in the morning, it was some negative thought that came out of his mouth. He was constantly looking at the negative to everything. And you know what? Before I found transurfing, I was kind of doing that too. So it makes sense that we were together, right? So I find transurfing and I am like just head over heels in love. And I realize, oh, there's a better way. There's a better way to live. There's a better way to be. There's a better way to create reality, right? Rather than just focusing on the negative all the time. And I really just embraced it. Well, he wasn't cool with that because he wanted somebody to interact with on that frequency that we had been interacting on before, and he definitely was not happy about reality transurfing. So I spent the next few months trying to convince him of how good reality transurfing is, or what was at the time, how much it would change his life, how he could have a different reality, how he could stop hating on things and circumstances he couldn't change. And he just wasn't down with it, right? So my option at that point that I took was to leave the relationship. And that's what I did. I look back on it now, I probably could have utilized the technique of the slide, and that's what I'm going to go into in this moment. So the slide, you can as a transurfer live in a slide yourself and see results. You can also create a slide that incorporates another person also living beside you in the same reality, right? Now, this is you inviting this person in to your version of reality. This is you acknowledging and accepting that a version of reality does in fact exist, where both people, a friend, a romantic partner, a family member, a parent, whatever, that you accept that a version of this reality does in fact exist. Because this is really the seed, the root, the first step. Without this step, nothing is going to happen. This is your absolute first step with creating your own reality or trying to invite someone into your reality as well, is that you have to really believe and know that that version of reality does in fact exist. When you start feeling that, you start resonating at a different frequency. When you start living through that slide of whatever your intended reality is, you start resonating at a different frequency. Once you start resonating at that different frequency, the other person is going to feel it. So then comes the moment where there's either going to be friction or they're going to join you. And what I've learned, and I've done this a number of times, so I do know that it works, oftentimes what happens is the friction creates, like let's say that I create a slide where I want someone else to join me in my version of reality. In the past, when I was not that good of a transurfer and still learning, as soon as there was friction, I would give it up, okay? Here's the key. If you set an intention or make a commitment that you know that that other person is going to respond to your resonating frequency and it's going to create friction, know that you just have to sort of push through and override it. It's coming, you accept it, but you stay steady in your resonating frequency. It's like, and I hate to use this analogy, it's really, really bad, but it's like training a dog, right? Once the dog realizes that there's positive reinforcement for their behavior, then they're happy to do it. So anytime that a person challenges you and there's friction, do not allow your resonating frequency to lower. Simply override it and continue to resonate at that frequency in hoping that they will join you, because that frequency does feel better, right? People just want to stay where they're at. They don't want to change, and that's where the resistance is coming from. The other point is frailing, obviously. Ask yourself in the moment, what does that person want that I could give them that would make them want to give me what it is that I'm intending to have? What could I possibly do to give that person so they will join me in my slide of my intended reality? And if you can look at it from that perspective, not from your own perspective. So a lot of times seeing results with another person boils down to frailing, the act, the art of frailing. What can you give another so they will participate in your intention? And this one is awesome. This one is great for anytime you encounter a challenge with a person. Let's say you're at a government office or a DMV, or you're renewing your passport, or you have to go to court, or whatever it is, and you come up against people where there's friction, right? So here is the challenge. Frequency wants to affect other frequency. This is just the mechanics of frequency. Usually I encounter people that either want me to join their frequency or they're willing to join my frequency. It's kind of how it works. So if you look at it from a perspective of two people engaging with each other for the first time and they're not resonating at the same frequency, so what's happening here is one person wants the other to come to their frequency, and then the other person wants that person to come to theirs. So here's the thing. this is two different sets of inner intention. And when two different sets of inner intention come together, that's when you have a problem. That's when you have people butting heads. That's when you have people fighting. That's when you have solutions not being created. That's when there's an issue. Now, if you can come to that event and try to work with their inner intention, you have a very, very good chance of winning them over to your side, because that is what they want, is they want their intention to be realized, not yours. That's why we see the talking heads on the news, where people are just bah, 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 bah. They're both coming to the conversation with inner intention. Nobody's listening. The whole thing locks up. Whereas if somebody came on, and this would be an excellent practice for a transurfer as this thing grows bigger, maybe one day somebody will actually get the opportunity to be a talking head on a news thing that's a transurfer. Probably not, but maybe it could happen. To approach the situation from what can I do to entertain the other person's inner intention, so I can have at least a possibility of winning them over to my side. So this is how you affect another person. You either create a slide with the intention that you are going to maintain your resonating frequency, even through the other person giving resistance to your intended version of reality that you want to see, and you continue to play that slide that's inviting them in. This is pretty much the best mode I think you could go into seeing this happen. And of course, frail, and get creative with it. If you can get creative with it and you can really start to practice this, it is a practice. It is an act that you can cultivate and really refine, and learning how to affect other people in a positive way. That's white magic. That's not black magic. You can use all this stuff with black magic, but you know what? Let's just keep it to the positive and really just try to reinforce these awesome concepts through practice, right? And see if you can get someone to join you in your better version of reality. So remember to like this video if you do in fact like it, and comment below, I love reality transurfing, to enter my daily giveaway to win some of my awesome reprogramming stickers. Thank you so much for watching my video, everyone, and frail on. Bye.